Hello, I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the program. And today I want to talk about 90s fashion. That's right, 90s fashion. And I gotta say, the 90s aren't that fucking long ago. I can remember the late 90s like it was fucking yesterday. I mean, Archie was the man. I had my own business. I had a few ups and downs. And I gotta say, it was an interesting period because, that was when I really started yearning for luxury goods. And some of the luxury goods that I own today, I can place them in the 90s. And I gotta say, 90s fashion, one of the classic icons of 90s fashions is my Cartier limited edition personal line clock. And this is very much early 90s. It's ritzy. It was a combination of silver and gold. You can see the two tones. When I say silver, I'm talking about the color silver. And it's also got the gold trim. Very, very ritzy. Very ritzy and very kind of 90s fashion. And 90s fashion and fashion, you know, I remember also very 90s. I remember I had a Cartier Must 2. Now, it was a quartz fucker. It was only a must, so it was a gold plated, you know, it was actually, I think it was white gold plated silver actually. But it was a cool thing. I just thought it was so chic at the time. 1990s Cartier.
When Parker first made the duofold, they made it as you'd expect, in the good old-fashioned way. Today, with the very latest technology to call on, Parker have improved the pen beyond recognition. Yet it remains as elegant in design as it always was. If only everything could evolve that way.
And it's an interesting fashion statement, you know. Look at these things here, and you tell me what you think. Another great piece at the time is the Patek Neptune. You remember the Patek Neptune in steel? That was such a 90s fucker. And I can fondly remember the Patek Neptune. It was so cool. And yeah, it's amazing how fashions change. And speaking of 90s fashions, man, the Patek Neptune, Jesus, I wouldn't have thought this shit would have aged. And I was talking to a good fan of the program, that's Dr. Thomas. And he bought a Neptune, and he's a urologist. I mean, they can fucking afford this sort of shit. And it's just looking back on it now, it's so dated. And it's funny, the Cartier clock, my parents live in a very 90s, they got a very 90s Gold Coast apartment. It's called the Ritz. And the taps in the bathroom would go perfectly with my Cartier desk clock. They're just gold and silver colors, you know. It's just so out there. It's 90s chic. And I gotta say, I don't know what's gonna happen to the 90s sort of stuff. It's not as foul as the 70s, but in the same token, 90s style, do you think it'll make a resurgence? Is it dated? And all I can say is, it shows you why you should fucking buy classic, iconic pieces. If Dr. Thomas would have bought a fucking Calatrava, okay, it might be a wee bit small, but at least it would be partially in vogue. So that's my advice. You wanna survive the time warp? Buy the classic icons. I'm Archie Luxury, commenting on 90s fashion. Tell me what you fuckers think.
in each other's arms. Do you mind if I stay by your side, just looking at you at the time to go?